We are now 1 week after the election, and we still don't have a clear winner in some of our local races.
And joining us now to talk about this is Dr. Raphael Sonenshein, Executive Director for the Pat Brown Institute for Public Affairs at Cal State LA. Thanks so much for joining us this afternoon. Always great speaking with you. Let's start. Lots to talk about, right? So let's start with the LA mayor's race. Karen Bass has increased her lead. She's now up by more than 36,000 votes. How difficult will it be for Rick Caruso to overcome this deficit?
You know, you're always reluctant to close the door in a campaign with thousands of votes still out there, but it's really hard for me to see how Rick Caruso pulls this out. In the last 4 ballot drops, Karen Bass has won every one of them by a substantial margin and has gone from back a few points to up 5 points, and it's looking more and more like the primary, where she actually finished 7 points ahead. I think there's no reason to close it down. You always wait till it's all counted, but I think he's got a very, very hard road to hoe.
Well, we're looking forward to talking to you when that event happens, when we finally get to the end of that one, because there's so much to decipher and dissect. But I want to move on to the LA City Council. It's starting to take shape now. Tim McCosker has declared victory. He'll replace Joe Biscaino in the Harbor San Pedro area. Katie Young-Yaroslawski will now take over the Westwood Fairfax area, succeeding Paul Koretz. So what changes do you expect as these new council members start to take over?
Well, first of all, the change was already in the air because one council member had already been defeated, Gil Cedillo, in the 1st district. This is going to be the biggest turnover I've ever seen in the Los Angeles City Council. It's going to be new faces, a lot of people who have not run for office before, a number of victories for the most liberal progressive candidates, but also some victories for slightly more centrist candidates. Example, Tracy Park, if she pulls it out in the 11th, and Tim McCosker in the 15th. But broadly, this is a day, as these numbers come in, that's been a good day for progressive candidates in Los Angeles, including citywide.
Okay, we also have a new sheriff in LA County, Alex Villanueva, conceding just a couple of hours ago. Were you surprised at how well Robert Luna did in this election?
I was surprised how badly Alex Villanueva did. At the end of the day, this was a referendum on the sheriff. Not that many people knew Robert Luna outside Long Beach and the South Bay area. This was not a referendum between two candidates, but the dissatisfaction with Villanueva I knew was substantial, but it turns out to be overwhelming. And it's not easy for a challenger to win when the challenger really isn't that well known, but the challenger was a very acceptable alternative to an unpopular sheriff.
Yeah. Okay, so when it comes to counting the votes, because we're still waiting for some of these races to come through, LA County notoriously has been slow. I mean, for decades they've had that reputation. Do you think the LA County Register, though, did enough to get the message out that the election results would take this long, or does more need to be done, in your opinion?
I don't know how many different times we can be told. Now, I'm hard to train. You know, I want the results right now. So if it's hard to train me, it's going to be hard to tell everybody that. The truth is, getting it done right is the most important thing in the world. Now, if we poured a ton of money into the registrar's office, maybe we could run it 24/7 and have, lots and lots of people counting the ballots. But it's because we're voting by mail, which allows more people to vote. More participation takes more time, because you have to open those mail ballots, check the signatures, et cetera. It's a little frustrating, but after 3 rounds of this, I'm actually starting to get used to it a little bit. It's a different rhythm. It's like a long game rather than everything happening the first couple of nights.
Exactly. Waiting up and reading the newspaper headlines the morning after is no more, for many reasons. Well, Dr. Raphael Sonenshein, thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to talking to you again when we get all the results in.
Thank you.
All right.